Good afternoon, everyone. Gary, will you quieten down over there, please? Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Lonnis Barrett, and it is my honor to serve as church moderator and to try to help lead this church conference to hear some great reports by some hardworking staff and hardworking volunteers and committee folks. But I want to welcome you all here. Especially want to welcome those who are joining us online via the live stream. This is our spring church conference, and it's a time when we get updated reports from the hardworking committees of the church. Thank you for being here in person. Thanks for making this a priority to be a part of this event here at our church. And we do have the requisite number of people present for me to declare that we've got a quorum. In case you don't know, to have a quorum, we have to have 5% of our active membership. And that's 73 right now. You'll hear more about that in a little bit. But the first thing I want to ask you to do is to please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, my prayer is that you will bless what transpires here today. Thank you for our church, our staff, our church lay men and women, and for the rich opportunity we have to minister to the world from the corner of Ashford, Dunwoody, and Mount Vernon roads. Thank you for all of your gracious blessings and for loving us so much. In your name I pray. Amen. As you entered the chapel today, you probably picked up one of these handouts. If you don't have a handout, would you please raise your hand, and Sarah will be more than happy to bring you one. Does everybody have one? I've got two on the back row back there, Sarah. You've heard me say this every time I ever stand here at a church conference, but I'm most impressed, and the thing that I've loved above many things at this church is what a wonderful committee process this church has. And we do so much via committee, and it's a real compliment to our lay people, our church members who work so hard. Thank you for all of your great work. In your handout is a copy of the minutes from the September 29th meeting, and these are for your approval. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve these minutes, please. I heard a move. Is there a second? I got a second. And if you favor approval of these minutes, please signify by raising your hand. Thank you, and they are approved. Next, you'll find in your handout some information about our membership report. Since the last church conference, we've had 50 new members to join by baptism, by letters, or statements of faith. We have lost 12 of our saints through deaths, and 8 have transferred out via letters of erasure since our last conference. Our total resident active membership as of today is 1,446. Our non-resident inactive membership is 723, for a total membership as of today of 2,160. At this time, I want to start the process of having our committee reports, and at this time, I'll call on Tom Copper for a report from that hard-working group of folks who comprise our leadership team. Tom? Get that green one.
Oh, the green one? Okay. Hi, glad to be here, and it's glad to see everybody took time and effort to be here too. Thank you, church. I am the chairman of the leadership team. It's a 4-year commitment. We roll 3 people off every year, and you can see by, hopefully, by this, we'll have 3 rolling off in 2005 and having 3 more come in. We're counting on the personnel committee to help us with that. Bringing on 3 new leadership team folks. Some people ask what the roles and responsibilities are. Basically comes down to the primary roles of providing counsel to the pastor, planning and recommended future directions of the church, guarding the purity of the church doctrine, and providing spiritual leadership to the church. Those are the basics. I just have one other item for business to bring to the church as my part of the report, which will not be up there. Our bylaws establish how a church should be led when the office of the senior pastor is vacant. Specifically, bylaw section 2.1D, and I will read that to you. The leadership team will select an interim pastor if that pastor has been engaged to serve for a term of 6 months or longer, or has actually served for a period of 6 months or longer. He must be approved by the majority of the present at a church conference. Our pastor search team continues their hard work and is making great progress. In the meantime, the leadership team is responsible for ensuring that the work and ministry of DBC continues. After careful consideration, we have approved and elected to ask our executive pastor, Alan Tellifer, to serve as the interim pastor for DBC. Alan has been meeting regularly with our leadership team for the past several months to develop plans for the interim season. He has our confidence and our trust. We expect him to continue this role until our pastor search team calls our next senior pastor. Once we call a new senior pastor, he will resume his duties as the executive pastor. In accordance with bylaw 2.1D, I asked the church to confirm Alan Tulliver as the interim pastor of Dunwoody Baptist Church. That's my report, and I now turn it over to Lana Spears for a vote.
Thank you, Tom. You've heard the report from the leadership team, and if you favor affirming Alan Tolliver as our interim pastor, would you please signify by saying amen? Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. If you want to know the truth, I'd got lost on my notes and I didn't see what just happened, but I thought I had done something stupid and you were laughing at me, so there we go, there we go. Okay, thank you. Another committee of our church that a long time ago, growing up in a Baptist church, I heard people say is one of the toughest committees on a church to serve is the Finance Committee. And at this time, I'd like to call on Mike Jessup, who is chair of our Finance Committee, for his report, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Jessup, and I have a pleasure of serving on the Finance Committee at DBC. The current members, we serve a 3-year term, and the current members in the first year are Bill Luring, Donna Smith, and Frank Southers. Our members who serve in their second year are David Richardson, Taylor Teague, and myself. And the three who are serving in their last year are Bruce Friddle, Rich Self, who was last year's chairperson, and Molly Thompson. Financial highlights is that DBC has a faith-based budget for the fiscal year ending September 2025 of $3.8 million. At March 31st, 2025, DBC had approximately $3.3 million in the bank, had net fixed assets of approximately $18.8 million, and best of all, DBC continues to be debt-free. I want to make sure everybody hears that. DBC is debt-free because of generous donations to the church. Financial results for the 6 months ended March 31st. The general fund contributions actual year-to-date were approximately $2,225,000. The budget was $2,190,000, and we were plus to the good of approximately $35,000. All revenue less expenses for the 6 months ending year-to-date actual were approximately $529,000, and the budget was approximately $393,000, so we're to the good approximately $135,000. And that is all the information that the Finance Committee will be presenting today. Thank you.
It's now my pleasure to call on the chair of the Dinwiddie Baptist Church Foundation, Bruce Palmer, to present us a report from the DBC Foundation. Bruce? Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, the lights are bright up here. I can't remember the last time I was in front of a microphone, but it might have been 24 years ago, right before I retired from Georgia State University. So I usually don't need a microphone, as my son would tell me that I'm loud all the time, but we'll see how it goes. It's my honor to serve as the current chair of the DBC Foundation. There are other board members, of course, on the foundation, and if you look at the very back sheet of your handout, you'll see the listing of all of the current board of directors. Bill Adams, Suzanne Bazier, Brian Brown, Chapman Hires, Gerald McCarley, Bill Norman, myself, Jeff Reams, Chris Rylands, Debbie Sessions, and Bev Wilkinson. And I want to thank all of those people because we do spend quite a bit of time in working on the foundation initiatives. The next to last page of your handout is basically a summary of the current financial status of the foundation. You look at the total number of assets as of the end of the first calendar year quarter of March 31st. The total assets in the foundation are a little bit under $13,300,000. As of June 30th, 2024, the total assets was a little bit short of $6.4 million. You first might want to know why. You first might want to ask the question: why are you, Bruce? Why are you relating it back to June 3rd? And the reason that's the number that I presented is because that was the number that was given to the church conference at the September fall conference. So that's the number I'm comparing with. And of course, the difference between those two numbers is $6,891,000. And of course, a major component of that $6 million is the $5 million anonymous gift that was announced on April the 27th in both church services, and also announced in a letter that I wrote to the church membership the following day that was distributed by email. There was another large contribution to the foundation in the fall of 2024. It was roughly a little bit more than $1,250,000 that came from the estate of one of our deceased members. The next important thing I want to talk about deals with the individual fund balances that we hold within the foundation. There are currently 11 different fund balances, and all 11 of those are listed there. I would ask you to, if you've got a pen or a pencil, just kind of underline after the Bill Counseling Fund. The importance of that is that those first two funds were what we kind of think of as the original funds of the foundation, although there was an 8-year time gap. But since that time, since the establishment of the Missions Fund and the Bill Counseling Fund, there have been 9 new funds coming into the foundation, created within the foundation. All 9 of those funds, beginning with the Adoption Fund, were created since 2022, which was the beginning of the foundation's Living Legacy Initiative. Excuse me. You can see that the bulk, and one other thing there, that the numbers in the parentheses, of course, are the years in which those 11 different funds were established. Of course, the Missions Fund is the biggest fund, close to $9 million, $8,787,551. That's the current balance as of March 31st. I'd like to make one other comment. The foundation, monies from the Missions Fund are transferred to the church's budget every year to support their missions initiatives. And since the foundation has been established, there have been over $9 million contributed from the foundation to the missions activities of Dunwoody Baptist Church. And that is certainly worth celebrating. The Gerald Bill Counseling Fund has roughly $157,000 in it. The Adoption Fund, which provides matching grants to Dunwoody Baptist Church families who are looking to adopt, has roughly $186,000. The Capital Improvements Fund has almost $763,000. That fund helps support improvements that the church undertakes. And the paving project that was just recently done, as well as I think some purchases either have been purchased or soon to be purchased, HVAC equipment will be funded out of that Capital Improvements Fund. So that's an important fund that we need to have money keep coming in to support the improvements of the church's property. The Dental Fund is designed to support, to launch or sustain the Dunwoody Baptist Church clinics that are supported and other related dental needs. The Capital and Acquisition Fund is one of the new funds that was created as part of the $5 million gift. $1 million is into that fund. The same thing is true about the Staff Transition Loan Fund. $1 million out of the $5 million is going to that. And the Capital and Acquisition Fund is different from the Capital Improvements Fund in the sense that the Capital and Acquisitions Fund is designed to purchase real estate that may be desired or needed, to maybe provide seed money to capital campaigns and other capital-related needs. The Staff Transition Loan Fund is designed to provide lower than market interest rates to incoming pastoral staff or incoming directors who need some financial support, some loan support to locate in the Dunwoody community or nearby. The next 3 funds are endowed funds: the Columbarium Fund, the Mac Hanna Student Ministry Fund, and the Alan and Judy Jackson Graduate Scholarship Fund. Now, as being associated with the university for over 30 years, I'm very familiar with endowed funds. That's what we always wanted to get. But what this means is that these funds will live into perpetuity. We don't spend the corpus, we just spend the investment earnings. So the investment earnings on the Columbarium Fund, as an example, will be used to improve the Columbarium when needed, provide additions when needed. Same thing for the Mac Hanna Student Ministry Fund. That investment earnings on that fund provides additional support to the student ministry at Dunwoody Baptist Church. And of course, as when it was announced on April the 27th, the Jackson Graduate Scholarship Fund, the earnings on that fund are designed to provide scholarships for seminary students. The last fund there, the Operations Fund, that's just been in existence a couple of years, maybe a year and a half. The foundation has certain expenditures, for example, the annual audit, and there's some other minor expenditures that we need to have monies to pay for the foundation's expenses. One of the things I would direct you to is the newly designed website for the foundation. It's been reconstructed, redesigned. I'm very pleased with the way it's turned out with the help of John Hume and Gary McIntyre. Both worked on that along with members of the board of directors. There was a link, a hyperlink in the letter I sent out on April the 28th. I suspect most of you have not kept that, but if you have that letter, still have that letter, I think you can get to the foundation web pages by clicking on that hyperlink. But there's also another way to get access to that website. I'll read it to you slowly in case you want to write it down. But the reason why I'd like you to look at that website is because that website contains at least two important things. It contains descriptions of each of these 11 funds. And I don't have time to go to read the descriptions of all of them here, nor would I want to do that, but there are fund summaries of all 11 funds on that foundation website. Secondly, that website lists the various ways that you could give to the foundation. So the other way to access the website is digitaldbc.org/foundation. digitaldbc.org/foundation. Thank you very much.
Wow, what a wonderful report. Thank you so much, members of the DBC Foundation. At this time, I'd like to call on Charlotte Holloway for a report from the Personnel Committee. And that's another one of our hard-working committees in the church. Charlotte.
The light is bright. Thank you, Lonnie. My name is Charlotte Holloway. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the current chair of the Personnel Committee. I have some updates since the September church conference. Most recently, the committee has been working with Dunwoody Baptist staff and leadership team to provide an interim leadership plan for Dunwoody Baptist in the wake of Alan Jackson's recent retirement. Part of this work has been to evaluate workload across the staff to ensure that key roles and work activities are covered while identifying potential work overload risks. The Personnel Committee will continue to monitor this throughout the interim period. The committee has also worked with Dunwoody Baptist staff in completing the Dunwoody Baptist staff annual performance review, which happened and was completed in March. Additionally, Dunwoody Baptist annually evaluates the church's current benefits packages and insurance programs. We've continued with a similar plan this year using Guidestone for the retirement benefits and Anthem for the Dunwoody Baptist health benefits providers. Insurance costs have continued to rise, so Dunwoody Baptist actually budgeted a 20% increase, but we were grateful that the cost only rose approximately 12%. So that was good news. Regarding employee changes, Taylor Turnbow, our Director of Sports and Camps, left Dunwoody Baptist in late March. Candidates to replace this role are currently being interviewed, and the expectation is to fill that role very soon. Natalie Morales, who supported the Worship and Arts at Dunwoody School for the Arts, DSA Ministries, left Dunwoody Baptist last November. Her role has been filled with 2 new part-time employees. Angela Rhoda is now supporting our Worship and Arts team. and Anna Price is now supporting our DSA team. We're very thankful to have both Angela and Anna on the team. We have also expanded the role of our missions associate, Ellen Powell, to a full-time role, which includes responsibilities for coordination of all cross-cultural ministries of Dunwoody Baptist, including ESOL, Conversation Club, and other activities. We're excited to have Ellen continue to expand these impactful and fast-growing ministries. We continue to have a strong staff here at DBC. I want to thank each of the members of the Personnel Committee for continuing to challenge and push DBC to be a better place to work and support for our staff. The current committee members are Bill Abernathy, Marion Avis, Kurt Giebel, George Houston, Allison Kohler, David Newman, Bruce Palmer, Madison Poole, and myself. Thank you, Marion Chase, for your guidance and counsel as the leadership team liaison. Thank you, Chip Thompson, for attending the last several meetings and keeping us up to date with the Pastoral Search Committee. And also thanks, Alan and David, for your support and hard work, who usually hit their 40 hours midweek. Thank you.
Another of our hard-working committees in our church is our nominating committee, and I'd like to call on Stephen Bell to bring you a report from that committee.
So my name is Stephen Bell. Mr. Lannis, I'd appreciate it if you would not describe these committees as hard work before they accept their nominations. So at the September conference, when they're voted in, then you can tell them how hard the real work is. I am not the committee chairman. Laura Roberts is. She has been doing yeoman's work for us for the last few months. She's at, I think, a violin recital today. I would like to thank the nominating members with me, Robert Johnson, John Montgomery, Josh Banks, Jessica McDaniel, Joe Sifry, Chandler Workman, and Scott Bennett. So I have one slide and one slide only. Corey has 32. So I'm the quick one here. We had almost 100 submissions this year. For those that were eligible and willing, we ended up with around 30 people. As of now, we have had people accept the recommendations for, I believe, all of the positions, except for the church clerk position. So if any of you in the audience or watching online are interested, there is one spot left in which you can serve. We're thankful for all the submissions that came from all over the church, or the 8:30, the 11 o'clock volunteers. It was really nice to see the submissions coming from all over the place. In years past when I've served, it was more like pulling teeth to find the candidates. This year, we had an abundance of interested individuals, which is wonderful. But you will see the names in September, so I'm not going to spoil the surprise yet, but we're in great shape. And we will have the church clerk identified soon, I'm sure. So thank you.
Our church has such a rich history of missions, and at this time I'd like to call on Corey Tarrance to come and present our Missions Council report.
Greetings, church. Stephen, I guess, is the spoiler of, we do have a lot of slides. So, but we also have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to be excited about. So, see if this clicker works. Good deal. So our theme this year is Step into the Story. And the core task of missions is to obey the Great Commission so God is known and worshiped among all people. And the Bible verse that we've been using and following this year and beyond is Acts 1:8. But you will receive the power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and all of Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. Here is our team Like other committees, we have a 3-year rotation. So we have 3 new members this year with Greg, Flavia, and Russell. We also have Patty, Lisa, myself, Alex, Nathan, and Jordan. And as Charlotte explained, Ellen's is now the missions associate, and our great leadership from Jeff Reams, our mission pastor. So some quick facts. So there's 38 individuals or ministries that we support, including 13 serving in the U.S., Guatemala, Southeast Asia, Central Asia, and New Zealand. So in September, we said that we wanted to send 100 people for this missions year. As of today, we're at 101 people that we are sending out to the missions field this year around the world, including Florida. And we have approximately 250 people that are serving here locally with our partners. How can you learn more about DBC? Well, several different ways. dbc.org.missions. There's a DBC Weekly, Stories of Impact. There's a Mission Prayer Corner at the top of the Main Street ramp. And we have a Story of Impact display in the Worship Center lobby, as well as the monitors in the chapel lobby as well. So what we're excited about, like I said, there's a lot that we're excited about. We've engaged new people, engaged in missions. Like I said, we're sending 101 folks. We're sending, the 3 people that came onto the council are serving, and we're sending internationally, this year. So most of our council is also engaged in the missions abroad, as well as with our partners locally. So we're seeing the results of the work. ESLL and Conversation Club are growing and continue to grow, and we'll hear more about the work that Ellen is doing there in her new role and capacity here in just a second. Unreached people groups being engaged, sending the people from various nations in DBC to the nations in some cases where they're from, or to other nations. So, speaking of Ellen. So Ellen has expanded her role, as Charlotte said, to now be over the language and life, ESOL, Conversation Club, and Bible studies. So since the last church conference, she has rebranded our language-based ministries to Language and Life. So the subtitle for that is Community for All Nations. And under the umbrella are ministries like the ESOL, Conversation Club, and the Bible studies that we see developing among people from different countries. Ellen's doing a fantastic job, love her work, and appreciate the efforts. I know I make her job harder every day, I'm sure, so, but I can appreciate that. So a couple stories that we want to share here. One, again, is ESOL. This is one of our best years ever. We had over 120 folks register in our ESOL. I had the pleasure of attending their graduation ceremony a few weeks back, and it was such fun. But that's a great momentum there, and we look forward to seeing that expand and just continue to grow. Reaching unreached people groups. Working with the Mon people in Southeast Asia, Dan. And we're also supporting some relief efforts. As you guys know, the devastation of the earthquake that hit in Thailand, Burma, and things like that, and where we have partners that we currently support. So we were able to help in certain areas like that as well. A new partner, Deeper Still. So Deeper Still is a new partner that provides healing retreats for men and women grieving through abortion. So this is our first year supporting them, and we supported their retreat in April. We have Paul Lim. Paul Lim joined the staff of Second Level, one of our partners, to help engage the Japanese community in and around Dunwoody. We have Tommy and Yumi Morris that are moving to Japan this summer to take over a coffee house ministry next to the university in Kanagawa, Japan. We have our dear Sydney Waltower, daughter of Glenn Waltower, our child director at DBC, who served 6 months in Southeast Asia with YWAM Ministries. This one I'm excited about as well. We had global team leader training, and we hosted it a couple weeks ago here at DBC. We had 3 different churches come in. We had 10 folks from DBC get trained. We had 3 other churches, Johnson Ferry, North Metro, Kennesaw, I think. But CultureLink, which is one of our partners, came and provided some leadership training for global missions. So that's great. And then we have a total of 11 this year and 14 over the last 2 years that have been trained and are ready to lead global mission teams. So priorities of the Mission Council right now, between now and church conference, obviously it's budget season, so we are in process right now of aligning the budget with our mission priorities, and we are very grateful and very thankful for the foundation, as Bruce mentioned, the $9 million that they provided to missions just since 2022. So also spending time with our partners. Right now we're looking at applications, we're reviewing renewal applications, and looking at our partners' needs. How can we better serve them? How can we help them? And then how can we engage with them better in and around the community? And then we will submit our final budget at the end of June. And I promise I'm wrapping up. So looking ahead, opportunities to step into the story. We'll have Serve Day, and there might be a little different version of that, so we're still in discussions on how we're going to do that this year, but in November. So be ready for that. We ask that you get your small groups, your classes involved, engage with one of our local partners here, and serve. We have a list you can join. You can follow them on social media. We'll have a calendar that we'll put out that will now make it a little bit easier to see where it's easiest to step in for your part of the story. And then lastly, coming up, so we have some commissions coming up for Guatemala teams, Venice, Florida teams, Liberia teams, and Japan teams, and the Netherlands teams. May 25th, we will be commissioning for our June teams, and on June 15th, we will commission for our July teams. Another way, we're looking forward to Summer Institute, the second half, which will be July 26th through the 27th, Reaching the Nations from Dunwoody. Giving you some other ways that we can help step into the story, not only with our partners here locally, but some of our partners internationally and some of the unreached communities that we're trying to serve. And to wrap, to learn more, sign up at our events and visit us online. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Corey. That's a great report. One of the most loving and caring groups of folks in our church are our deacons. And at this time, I'd like to call on Jim Giesler to come and make us a report on behalf of the diaconate. Jim?
Thank you, Lannis. Again, my name is Jim Giesler. My report will be short, but while you graciously accept the definition you provided there of the deacons, that doesn't mean it's not hard. Okay? So anyway, there's no more important responsibility of being a deacon at Dunwoody Baptist Church than attending to the pastoral needs of its members. The role of a deacon is simply that of a servant. Deacons support the pastoral care activities that are organized, coordinated, and focused. Deacons offer care to members during times of need, share moments of joy, and network their flock members with other members of Dunwoody Baptist Church who share in their passion for serving Christ. This year, the deacons have begun a deliberate review of the deacon ministry, especially in the areas of 1, providing a conscious effort in contacting our flock members, 2, visitation to our elderly members, and 3, in the areas of dealing with crisis and life-changing events and situations with our Dunwoody Baptist Church members. This is not it's more than just a 1, 2, 3. I heard a great definition from Steve Peters. It says something along the lines of, when you do a deacon job, it's like painting the Golden Gate Bridge, and when you finish, you start all over. But anyway, as you know, regular communication is vital, and through training and experience, we expect to enhance the deacon ministry to be even more responsive to our Dunwoody Baptist Church members. Currently, there are 55 deacons, and earlier this year, we nominated and elected 2 members of the church who are willing to, actively serve as deacons here at Dunwoody Baptist Church. We'll be holding a deacon ordination service on June 22nd at 2 p.m. in the chapel. This is an ordination service that is open to everyone. So I would encourage you to attend this most solemn ordination service. Lannis, at this time, I would like to present Jill Nelson and Lisa King, both from the Lydia Ladies Sunday School class, to the congregation at this church conference and ask for the church to affirm the election of them.
You've heard the names of the 2 people that the deacons have elected, and they've asked the church to affirm that election. If you favor affirming these 2 ladies to serve as deacons in our church, would you please signify by raising your hand? Like sign nay, and of course there isn't any. Thank you, sir. And Jim, thank you for helping me finish my statement, and I mean this sincerely. Not only are they loving and caring, but the deacons genuinely do hard work, and we're just very proud of all of you. At this time, I'd like to call on Chip Thompson to come and give us an update from our hard-working pastor search committee. Chip.
And Lannis is right. It is hard work, so we do appreciate it. First of all, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to this entire congregation for your prayers. We feel them every day. They sustain us. The number of programs that we have received mean the world to us. And so for those of you who have taken the time to use this strange thing called an ink pen and write down on a piece of paper and pass it along, I just can't thank you enough. I want to say, first of all, our family of, I want to thank the families of our committee members as well. There are kids whose dads don't come home on Wednesday nights until way late. There are husbands and wives who make sacrifices in order for us all to be together. So I really, really want to thank the family members of the committee members for the sacrifice that they're making as well. I do want to encourage you that our team is very, very close. We're working really well together. We're doing life together. David Harrison calls it the best small group he's ever been a part of. I've loved a lot of my small groups, so I won't make that claim, but I do love this group a lot. And we've been able to do life together. We've celebrated together. We've wept together, and we've struggled together. And recently, we had a huge celebration when Brentley Rada was officially brought in, and that was and I'd like to congratulate myself because that's the first time I've been able to say that without crying, because we've watched the Radas over this period of time just wait on God and wait on His timing, and as we've waited, we celebrate that, but also it's reminded us that God's timing is perfect. We're meeting with, as Charlotte shared earlier this evening, we're meeting with a leadership team, the Personnel Committee, and the Finance Committee at each of their meetings, and we're giving regular updates, and they have been very well received. And Bridget Pogue has also joined our team as the staff liaison, so I wanted to update you on that. As you may remember, you received a notice that we were very close with a candidate, but it didn't end up working out, and so we spent most of our fall working with that candidate and another one, and they were 2 very, very strong candidates. But while that was going on in the background, I want to thank Debbie Sessions especially, and Jerry Wilkinson and Megan Dishroom for the work that they did on vetting 6 different firms that we were talking to help us, as we call it, cast a wider net. We're a unique church. I love our church. I wouldn't change anything about the way we do things, and while we're not perfect, I think our doctrine is sound and our love is great, and I genuinely love our church, but it's unique. And so finding someone who aligns with our church has been a little bit more difficult than I think we expected. So we had the commitment that we would cast a wider net and wait on God's timing. And so, again, through Debbie's leadership, 6 firms were vetted, and then we settled on 1, and we have now engaged a search firm to help us who has access to 40,000 candidates. Now, obviously, not all those people are going to connect with us, but again, Debbie, thank you. Great job on that, and I really appreciate it. So we engaged them in April, and they have been here and met with the staff. And just some feedback I'd like to give y'all is they were blown away with how healthy our church is, how strong our staff is, and the work that the foundation that we've laid. So they're already at work. They're currently vetting candidates. That began the first week in May. And we're also looking, if you've got a candidate you would like for us to consider, I would ask that you contact that candidate first, or at least give us the contact information, because we've had some people say, well, why don't you, call some mega pastor out in California? How about Rick Warren come? And, well, do you know Rick Warren? Well, no. And I said, well, do you know how to get a hold of him? No. Well, I appreciate that so much. I really do. But I don't know how to get a hold of Rick Warren either. So if you could help us with that, we'd appreciate it. So, one of the things I want to say about the search firm and the reason that we did that is that so many times, some of you in corporate life, my experience has been you have a search firm, you get 3 people back, you get to pick one of the 3, and they take their fee. And if you don't like any of the 3, they take their fee, and you hire another search firm. This is not the way this firm works. This firm works with us, and every step of the way we're working together, and they will stay with us until God anoints the 7th pastor of Dunwoody Baptist Church, and they will celebrate with us, and they will stay with us actually after that person is anointed and called to serve, and we'll work with them. So I really feel like this has been an answer to prayer, and we are very, very excited about that. So I want to conclude by saying thank you again for your encouragement. I know we're all waiting longer than we would have liked, but we're waiting on the right man at the right time. And God's never late. He's never early. He's always right on time. And I'm so thankful for that, because there have been many times that through my ways I'd have messed it up. So we'll rejoice when he comes. And I thank you for your prayers. And that's all. Good job.
I have not heard from anyone about any further business that needs to come before our church conference, so I'm going to declare that we've handled the other business question, and I'm going to call on our new interim pastor, Alan Tolliver, to come and bring our prayer of adjournment, after which our church conference will be officially adjourned. Alan.
Church, we've done some good work tonight, and as somebody who really appreciates efficiency, we've done efficient work tonight, so I'm especially grateful for that. But thank you all for being here. We often refer to this spring meeting as the Church Conference of Inspiration, and we get to hear good reports and financial information. It's the fall conference that's the conference of perspiration, and so you have something to look forward to in September. Church, we've done some good things this evening, and we have much to celebrate. We have much to look forward to, and we also have work to do even in this interim season. And so I want to challenge you to remember that we are not here to hit pause or to slow down. We are a people with a mission, on mission, and each of us has responsibilities for that. The mission field is right through those doors. Will you join me in a word of prayer now? Heavenly Father, I thank you for the opportunity to serve your kingdom in this way, on this corner, in this place. I thank you for the men and women who allow the work of Dunwoody Baptist Church to be possible. We thank you for her rich history and for her bright future. God, we thank you for the opportunity to serve you in our thoughts and in our words and deeds, and to go forth and to be salt and light in this place. We ask you now to bless us as we close in Jesus' name. Amen.